Y'all ready? Good morning. I'm calling to order the Management and Internal Services Committee meeting for Tuesday, October 11th. Let's start with a prayer, please, if you'll bow your heads with me. Lord, thank you so much for this beautiful day. Thank you for all the folks who are here, our staff, our citizens who are participating in the meeting today. Be with us as we make some hard decisions and go through our agenda. Not all of these decisions are easy. Help us to vote with our hearts and to vote with a clear mind and to make all our decisions in fairness and in truth. In your name we pray, amen. Please join me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, republic for which God for all. Thank you. We have a quorum with 3 members present, and I need approval of the minutes of the previous meeting, gentlemen.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you so much. Do we have any changes to the agenda today?
Not to my knowledge, Madam Chair.
Thank you. We have one presentation, recognition of the 2022 GMIS International G2C Award for the Christmas in Columbia County Citizen Portal. Mr. Blanchard, what is that?
All right, you may have heard me mention before that, yes, we're members of GMIS International, and as such, as part of their state and then their national conference, it's the county's privilege to be able to submit projects for their consideration. This year, we won the Government to Citizens Award for the Christmas in Columbia County portal at the state level, which meant that it was automatically submitted to the national level, and we won that one as well.
Are we the only winner?
We're the only winner of Government to Citizens.
They don't give 52 of them, they just give one.
They give one for that one, yes, sir.
Impressive.
Okay.
So what was on the portal? Like where you go to look at Christmas lights?
Well,
or?
I'd like to recognize Grace Jansen from the GIS department to address that.
Okay.
She had a pivotal role in getting that project set up.
Good morning.
Morning, Grace.
So the portal itself was a combination of things. We had the landing page for citizens to go in and vote and to look at all the content for the light fight that Cassidy and Madison, and I'm sure several other people were involved in organizing and planning that one out, as well as an interactive tour with all of the homes across Columbia County that registered themselves to stop and check out our display. I think that it ended up being a total of over 3.5 hours of drive time, and it was Evans, Martinez, Grovetown, even had a couple places in Harlem and Appling. So if anybody chose, they really saw the whole county and what everybody had to offer. A lot of
To get the gas stations to help you to participate in that, because 3.5 hours of driving time.
Maybe next time.
Sir.
Next time.
Good work.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Is there anything else related to that, Mr. Blanchard?
No.
Thank you. Good work. Good work. We have with us today some members of the Leadership Columbia County class. Will you all please stand up and introduce yourselves? Mr. Prather, you want to go first? You be the leader. Tell us. Good. Thank you so much for being with. There's a lot of tax people and accountants in that group.
So much in taxes.
Very good, very good. Thank y'all for being with us. I hope you learned something today. At the end, if you have any questions, please find one of us, and we'll help answer your questions and make you more familiar with what goes on here. Let's move on into the debate agenda, because I don't have anything on consent. New business, Mr. County Manager, what do we have today?
First item for your consideration is a proclamation for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. This has been brought to our attention by Safe Homes. Staff recommends the approval of the proclamation and then the presentation of Safe Homes at the October 18th commission meeting.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved. Next.
Next item you have for your consideration is a contract with Correct Health Inmate Medical Services. This is on behalf of the sheriff and the sheriff's office. They did go through the process of receiving proposals. Going through those proposals, as you'll see, we had 3. One was not shortlisted because they couldn't meet our all the services that we needed done. And then you can see there that the second one is really almost, is over triple what we're currently paying. So they did decide on Correct Health. So staff recommends awarding that bid to Correct Health for inmate medical services. We would enter that contract with an initial term beginning on October the 18th, 2022, and then it would go until June 30, 2024 to get into our fiscal year cycles, with the option to renew for three one-year terms. We do reserve the right to cancel the agreement within 30 days, or given 30 days written notice. I will also say that this is over budget. We will be able to, I think we'll be able to handle this year's overage with the small amount left in the calendar year, but we will definitely have to budget for this next year. Staff recommends approval of the proposal from Correct Health.
If we put this on the consent agenda, it goes on the 18th to full commission, and the term begins that day? Are they ready to jump right in?
Well, they're our current vendor, so they
Okay.
would just continue the contract.
Okay.
What was the increase?
I think had around $600,000, so it was about $269,000. We're seeing large increases all over the country in these inmate medical services. But again, it was the best deal that we were able to find.
Move to consent.
So moved. Next.
Next item we have is a purchase of 2 UPS systems. These are backup battery systems that are needed in 911. The total amount of the purchase is $60,740. This is a 911 expenditure. Staff recommends approval.
The Mac Daddy backups.
Yes, well, you don't want 911 to go down. Without power, they'll be able to last a while.
Move to consent.
So moved. Next.
Next item we have for consideration is the reassigning of committees for the month of December. Typically, we will do that because of the holidays. What we're asking is that, we're recommending that you hold all of your committee meetings on Tuesday, December 13th for the month of December. So all 4 committees would meet that day.
Commissioner Richardson, Commissioner Galius, do you have any issues with that?
Second.
So moved.
The next item for your consideration is service agreements. We have 2 here, one with Concerned Women, Inc., and one for I Care For, Inc. You can see the amounts listed there. The total amounts provided by the commissioners that participated were $3,000 for each organization, and staff recommends approval of the service agreements.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved. Anything else on your section, Mr. Johnson?
That's all I have.
Very good.
I'll watch.
Internal Services.
Thank you. Good morning.
Running.
The first item I have for your review and consideration is the annual budget adjustment that I bring to you for the audit. According to Georgia state law, we can't have any department being shown as being over budget in our annual financial statement. So I've done an analysis of all the departments and have presented for you a budget adjustment with the reason for each. Staff recommends approval.
Total budget adjustment is, sorry, mine's sideways.
The total budget adjustment in the general fund is $267,200. And then you have all the other funds listed individually.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved. Thank you. You got one more for us?
Yes, the next item is the fiscal year 2024 GDOT Rural Transportation Program application. This is the grant that we receive each year for operating our public transit system. We are expected to receive an increase for 2024. We've been capped at the same amount for several years, and they have removed that cap. And so we are hoping to have an increase from $213,656 to $317,144. The negative part of this, though, are the prices of vehicles now. We are scheduled to receive 2 replacement vans, and we do pay 10% of the cost of those. In the past, that price has been around $6,000, and now each one of those is about $12,500. So our cost will be $25,000 to receive those two vans. That will be budgeted in the 2024 budget year.
Could we delay
Doesn't look like-
purchase?
It doesn't look like it's getting any better. As a matter of fact, it's getting worse, and I think we're in situations now where if we don't get our name on the list for some of these vehicles, we may, I don't know when.
In fact, I think we're still waiting on, Jeff, which year? But like Scott said, this is getting us
Place these every year, correct?
there.
Rotate them.
Yes, we have a plan in place, and it schedules each year which vehicle will be replaced.
Move to consent.
Second.
Thank you. Do you have anything else for us, Ms. Reese?
That was it.
That was it. Mr. Blanchard, how much money are you gonna spend
I really
today?
wish you'd quit asking him that question.
Well, you know it's gonna be some big number. I have to aggravate
I'll
him
have to
about
vote
it.
no just for general principle.
Well, there is no cost for the first two items.
Thank you.
Start off on a positive
Those
note.
first.
The first item I have for your consideration is revision to the hardware sanitization policy. That's the policy that IT uses as a guide to essentially cover what we do with our obsolete equipment. It establishes that they need to have different practices and procedures within the department to deal with the obsolete equipment to make sure that it's sanitized or wiped before we release it. There's just three things taking place here. We're renumbering the policy to be consistent with our other asset management policies. Likewise, we're updating the format to be more consistent with our newer policies. And we're assigning the responsibility for managing the sanitization to the IT manager or their designee, because it was assigned to a specific position. Change that, that role has changed to which it was assigned. So there's no budget impact, and staff recommends approval.
That's it.
So moved. Next.
Next item is similar. It's some revisions to the acceptable use policy. This is a policy that was updated recently, so in format, there's not really issues. We just needed to update some references to a form that had been renamed that was specifically designated there. And we also need to designate that the IT department is the authority for moving computers, because that was something that was not in there. And in terms of keeping track of our inventory, we need to make sure that things stay where we put them. Staff recommends approval.
Move to consent.
So moved. Next.
The next item is on behalf of our award-winning GIS department. It's an addendum to our agreement with Pictometry International for digital orthophotography. You've heard me speak about the digital orthos before. It's 45-degree oblique photography that provides us with a much better view than just a straight up and down aerial photograph or like a satellite photo of everything from above. And so this is technology that can be used by a lot of different departments. You've approved that in the past. And in fact, the current contract we have is really for 3 sets of orthos to be flown, one every other year. What we're asking for is for the second set, which we're about to, which will be flown in January or February. We also want to gather planimetric data. And that's basically, if you can imagine, everything that you can see from an aerial photo from above. We would want to capture that digitally so that we have updated information. This hasn't been done since 2013, so we want to have the company to deliver building footprints, edge of pavement, creeks, retention ponds, name it. And there has been a lot of change in the county over the last few years, so this will enable us to catch up all at once on that. The net difference is $192,474. Which is funded in the GIS department budget for this fiscal year, and we'll also have half of that $192K difference, which would need to be funded in next year as well.
So what's in the budget for this year? Forgive me.
I believe that we've got a round number of, I think, of 100,000 that's in there for this year, and that's what we'll ask for next year, or we'll ask for the remainder, 92,000.
Awful lot of money.
But it's some important data that's going to help us catch up with areas like stormwater. That's one of the areas that we gather is impervious surfaces, parking lots, things like that. That it's not easy for us to gather on the ground, but with this company providing that service, we'll have it delivered to us instantaneously, and we can apply it to a lot of different uses.
Tell me about a couple of the uses.
Well, like with stormwater, if we need to make sure that our stormwater information is accurate, that you've built a parking lot, if it's impervious surface or concrete or asphalt, then obviously it's going to be different than just if it's a dirt or gravel lot. We have a new subdivision that's put in. This enables us to make sure that we've got the edge of pavement for the subdivision as well as the all the building outlines for it. Something that, as a county that's had the tremendous growth that we've had in the last few years, it's really essential to make sure that staff has all the information.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved, thank you. Next.
Next item I have for your consideration is Justice Center Courtroom AV Solution with Conference Technologies Incorporated. We don't have a system for audiovisual in the courthouse. We have multiple systems, and they are all of varying ages and varying levels of dependability. I'll just say it that way because it is a constant struggle to make sure that we're able to conduct court with the equipment that's over there right now. A lot of the equipment is from the original construction of the courthouse, so it dates from the early 2000s. So what we're proposing to do is have Conference Technologies replace and put a first-class sound system in every one of the existing courtrooms to include cameras, speakers, microphones, display devices, control panels, and so on, so that we reset everything back to today, and we basically would maintain that system going forward instead of trying to keep this old, multiple systems up and running. Similar to I hate to mention vehicles, but you can spend a lot more money and time working on an old vehicle as opposed to purchasing a new one.
Actually, I don't
Maybe
think,
not the
I don't
best
think that's true right now, but,
You know,
so what about because we were supposed to expand the courthouse. Where does that stand, and how does this affect that?
Well,
I mean, they have to be
We would
interrelated.
use it going forward if.
they'll use this going forward, and Mr. Prather would be much better equipped to talk about the courthouse. However, it's our intention that when the renovation is taking place, we'll coordinate with Mr. Prather and the contractors to make sure that we can retrofit that are put in the new structure would have very similar technology to what we have here. Instead of a wide variety of generations of technology, we have what's current right now, and then when that gets built in 1, 2, however long it is, we'll have new equipment there.
Would it be feasible to limp along with what we have and just get something all new when the new construction is done?
we've talked about that a little bit. I think the judges are really struggling for evidence presentation in some cases. This has been a project that's been going on for over a year, maybe longer than that, but well, it does predate our judicial split. So we've been looking at it, but now with the amount of court that's happening over there, this is a constant problem every day. But we've been assured that this is expandable. We have to pull the trigger at some point, and then we'll just add to it. But we
Does this include the juvenile court?
juvenile court. I don't know if it does it have. I don't think it has
That's
the
being
same
handled under a separate contract. When their project.
But it's the same equipment.
It's going to be the same equipment, but the same, Crestron is the control panel. It will be using Crestron equipment. It'll have I'm going to say similar cameras, not exactly the same equipment. One of the challenges, and you're familiar with this because you've heard us all talk about it before.
Don't
is
assume.
when you order the equipment now, then you may or may not get it in the next month or 2 months or 3 months. The equipment that we're putting in the judicial court right now is what we have out of the box today, and this will all be 3-6 months. There may be slight differences in models or things like that, but we're trying to unify as much as we can on one manufacturer of different pieces of equipment.
You want it all, one size fits all.
Well, and we want to make sure that we have ease of maintenance going forward. We don't have a manufacturer that's done something in this courtroom and we're using XYZ company to provide those cameras, and then in another courtroom we have ABC Incorporated. We want to make sure that everything comes within the same generation or within a couple of generations of technology, and provided by the same company as much as we can, just for ease of maintenance, because otherwise we will quickly be back where we are right now with equipment that doesn't match between courtrooms.
And the other part of this is this equipment is operated by courtroom personnel. So if a judge changes the courtroom, now they're operating different equipment, and it is problematic, and quite frankly, a lot of it's hanging on by shoestrings. We don't even know who put it in for the most part. It wasn't an IT project, so it really needs to be replaced now.
We were pleased that this did come in significantly under budget. We were actually a little shocked that we were able to get it for what the price came in at.
So the Justice Center and the annex will be on the same platform.
Essentially, yeah.
Same
Essentially.
Crestron platform.
Same Crestron platform.
Gentlemen?
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved. Next.
The final item I have for you today is the purchase of security and traffic cameras from ASAP Security Services. We have over 300 video cameras that are deployed in the field right now. 127 of those have been designated at end of life by the manufacturer. End of life means that they're not going to replace, there's not a, step back. That equipment's not really being supported by the vendor anymore. If it breaks, they're not going to say, oh, it's under warranty, because it's not under warranty. It's something that is several years old. And we've got a lot of these cameras that are not really delivering the level of quality that staff and including the
How old
sheriff's
are they? I mean, how old
old
are
are
the
they?
cameras we have now?
We actually, the first camera that we've ever deployed is still in action today. It's so bad that you can't read a license plate from about 50 feet away. And that one, Sean may need to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm thinking it's 2013.
2013.
2013 is when we really started installing. So, you can see the difference in the pictures too, because you get some discoloration in the lenses, so it makes it better. And for the purposes the sheriff's office is using cameras for, and some of the other items that we've approved for their intelligence processing, it's imperative that they get the best picture possible. Some of these the cameras that these are replacing need to be, they're suffering
Now,
from.
we've talked about a replacement cycle before.
That's correct.
I'm just,
And this is where we're at for these.
Right.
Because this is not all of the cameras.
right.
Without getting into details, though, I think just when we talk about this and what this is for, a lot of people, question the cameras and how they work, but we've had another recent situation where a homicide occurred in another county. They have zero leads on this homicide. They don't, they just find the person and the car, and that's it. That's all they have. And but the bad guys made the mistake of coming through Columbia County on their way to commit this crime. And because they did, we were able to find that car. We were able to find who was with the people that were in that car. We were able to find the other cars that were with them and turned all that over to the other agency. This is an agency that couldn't afford any technology like this, but now a homicide has been solved because of our ability to be able to read tags, be able to see people inside the car, or how many people are inside of a car. Technology's pretty amazing, and we're using it a lot.
But these came in well under budget too.
Yes.
They did.
Surprise.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved. Is there anything else, Mr. Blanchard?
No, ma'am.
All right, very good. Thank you. Do we have any legal matters? Let's go into staff reports, please.
Just first item for your information is our personnel savings. You can see that we have exceeded our annual goal already in personnel savings. We are continuing to try to have savings, but also trying to cut down on our turnover and trying to fill these positions as well. Questions if you have any?
No questions?
Thank you. Next.
The first report I have for you is the year-to-date budget report. This is for the month ended September 30th. We should be operating around 25%, and everyone is currently operating as they should be.
Good. Thank you. Next.
The next item is the SPLOST update. This is for the month of August. We received just over $2.7 million. Our annualized percentage increase is now 8.99%.
Good. And the investment report?
Yes, the investment report for your review. Bad news for home buyers, good news for those of us investing, rates are up. We've been able to place some of our excess funds in some really nice investments.
Good.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, do you have any questions for her?
I do not.
Very good. Having none, is there any other commissioner or public comment? All right, I have no executive session, so this meeting will be adjourned and we will come back in 3 minutes. Thank you.